Happy day, humans. Brittany here. So I've received the question a lot about what safety tips I can provide when you are trying to hitchhike. And as we know, when you are long distance hiking, yes, there may be shuttles or Ubers or taxis, but at some point you're more than likely going to have a hitchhiking experience. And after long distance hiking for 8,500 miles, I am here to share my tips, tricks, and things I've learned along the way. So hopefully you'll gain some value and things that you can take with this. So if you don't mind, click like, subscribe, and let's jump right in. Number one, trust your intuition. This is very, very important. If something feels off or doesn't feel right, or you have a bad feeling or some bad vibes going on with the car that just pulled up, don't do it. Your intuition will always guide you. That is, when you are out there, when you are in alignment, you're going to learn to trust that intuition, that guidance, and it's going to guide you. So first off, intuition. If something don't feel right, don't do it. Number two, if something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to say no. Like, be like, hey, I forgot something on Treyl. I'm gonna have to go back and get it. Thank you so much for offering me a ride, but it's gonna be a little bit later and I'll just try again later. Or maybe, hey, yeah, thank you for stopping, but I'm actually waiting on a friend. So I'm gonna have to wait on them. Thank you for stopping, and just catch the next one. In my situation, every situation is different. I understand things can happen, but I have never had to say no to a hitchhike or avoid that situation. But I have always told myself that it's okay to say no, and if something don't feel right, to trust that. So say no if necessary. Another tip I have is more the merrier. So if you run into some hiking buddies or another hiker, like, go into town together. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, you want to go into town together? Let's hitch together. More the merrier. The more people you have in a group, less chances of something dramatic happening. I have been in situations where I've hiked with multiple people. I've also been in situations where I've hiked with one other person, and then I've been in situations where I've been completely solo. So if the opportunity lies where I can have another hiker to hitch into town with, I will definitely choose that option. Another option that I do, if I am completely solo and I do not have the option of hitchhiking with another hiker, if they stop in a pickup truck, I normally always get in the back. Not really depending on like the weather and the vibes and how I'm feeling, but I have been in situations where it's like, okay, I don't necessarily feel comfortable getting in the car, but I can ride in the back of the pickup. To me, that just made me feel a little better. So you don't be afraid to use that as an option as well. Something else that I would personally do is whenever I would approach a vehicle and I go to put my bag in the car, I have heard of these terrible stories happening of a car driving off and taking the hiker's stuff. Luckily, that has never happened to me. But I keep a fanny pack. Like, I hiked long distance with a fanny pack, and in that fanny pack, whenever I would go into town, I would keep my most important items in that fanny pack, like my wallet, my phone charger, my phone, my satellite phone for emergencies. I would have a pocket knife and pepper spray. And then anytime I would get into the vehicle, I would have this on me within close reach. So if something was to happen, I could pull out a knife if needed. I would have pepper spray if needed. If they were to drive off, I would have my ID, I would have my money, I would have my phone for contact. So all this was just very aware for me. Like, anytime I got into a new vehicle, I would always make sure I had access to my fanny pack. And another thing that I would do that I was just aware of is whenever I hitchhiked, the map that I used while hiking was far out, I would always zoom in. And like, whenever I downloaded it, I would make sure I could see everything around me, including the towns. So when I'm in the vehicle, I can actually zoom in on the map and just make sure that I'm still going the right direction. Making sure that the vehicle didn't take an unnecessary turn, or maybe, you know, we got to talking and they're trying to distract me and go another way. I'm just always aware of my map and the direction I need to go. So I know, you know, if I need to be alert if something was kind of going off. I know every hitchhiking experience is different and things can happen. So guys, just be aware of your surroundings, trust your intuition, know what's going on around you. This was kind of my tips and tricks from my 8,500 mile hiking experience. I didn't really have any terrible hitchhiking stories or bad experiences or experienced any harm. There were times, I stayed in the back of the truck and I've had amazing conversations, but for the most part, it really restored my faith in humanity and really just brought amazing humans into my life that I learned so much about that person or connected or was able to learn something. But like I said, every situation is different, and it's just better to know your surroundings and be cautious and know what can happen out there. But yeah, so if any of my tips and tricks you found valuable today, please leave a comment and let me know. But other than that, I wish you the best of luck on your hiking journey, and we'll talk soon.